Hey there folks, this is Steve Bonin with Urban DIY. Today we are going to cut this locking rabbet joint. Anyways, let's get at her. Hey there YouTube, I am Steve Bonin. This is Urban DIY, a channel dedicated to woodworking hobbyists working in small spaces with limited resources. We're going to be using a miter gauge, the tenon jig that we built in another episode. I'll link that in the description. A kerf stick that's made specifically for this blade. A pair of calipers. My ruler stop block, that is not going to sit up there no matter what I do. And my new CMT 50 tooth combination blade that has a 1 in 5 teeth, has a flat top to give us that nice flat bottom on our dados and the bottom of our rabbet through here. Anyways, oh, and I had to wear my really strong magnifying glasses to be able to dial this in, because we were talking 64ths of an inch. Okay, we're just going to start by measuring our wood. I have my vernier caliper here, or digital caliper. And as we can see, it's not a good measurement when it comes to imperial inches. So it is 15/64. So measuring to half of that is not going to be easy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch my scale to metric. That's 12.04 millimeters. 12.14 millimeters. 12.01 millimeters. So we're pretty close to 12 millimeters. So what we're going to do is we're going to set the calipers at 6 millimeters to make our measurements. And that's at 6.03 millimeters, and I think that's as close as we're going to get. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set my ruler stop marking gauge to the same 6 millimeters, and I'm just going to use this end to do it. Just going to set that down as close to the ruler as I can get it and try to keep them parallel. Push the block down and tighten it. So, and that reads, if you can see it, right about 6 millimeters. So these two things should be set at the same depth. Okay, I'm just going to start by cutting this down into two pieces that will resemble drawer sides. So we are at 11 5/16. So we are going to cut it at 5 5/8. I just set my fence to that. So these two are precisely the same. So it's actually raining out here. So I'm just going to use my calipers to mark the edge of the cut that we want to make. These are the calipers that I set and locked down at 6 millimeters. So that edge. This method works surprisingly well for marking. I'm just going to take a pencil and fill that in so that you can see it on camera a little better. So hopefully that's visible on camera. I will move it a little bit. So that's the rabbet joint we want to create. So as you can see, I've cut a notch out of my sacrificial fence on my cheap miter gauge so that it's not interfered with by the tenon jig. So we can slide that through the blade like that without interference. So now I'm going to set the blade height. I'm just going to take the tenoning jig off for a second to set the blade height, and we're going to use the ruler stop gauge that I set using the calipers earlier, and take that down, and I'm just going to there. You can just see. I'm just going to back it off a little bit. I can just see a little bit of daylight between the blade top and the block. So hopefully that's enough to sneak up on the cut. So for the width, we want to keep our tenoning jig in there so that it's at the same position when we do the horizontal cut and the vertical cut. And I want to do that to the outside of the blade. And I'm going to be in the way of the camera there. Hopefully, I have two cameras running. And hopefully, okay, so hopefully you all can see that. Let's go for broke. So as you can see, the rabbet joint is not perfect. So what I have determined, without a combination blade, or a flat top blade, this process is never going to work. So I have ordered a combination blade. It should be here tomorrow, hopefully, and we can get back to this tomorrow, and we'll continue this. So I got my new blade. So let's get it open and get it on here. So let's get it changed. I'm going to have to investigate some of that special tape that you can put on the top of your saw to give you a zero clearance throat plate. The other nice thing about this saw, of course, the wrench is right there. I don't know if you can see it. So what I'm doing here is trying to illustrate the different angles on the saw blade teeth. So up to the left, up to the right, and flat top. There's a good picture right there. First one's up to the left, the second one's up to the right, and the third one is flat top, and it goes in groups of 5. The flat top is always the 5th. And now I'm just using the ruler stop marking gauge to measure the height of the blade. And if you didn't see me build that, I will link to it in the description. So I don't know if you can see that mark there, but if I put the calipers on there like that, it's 6 millimeters. And if I put the calipers on there like that, it comes to the same line. So that is definitely halfway. Within vision standards. So let's see if we can come up to that line. Well, I would say we were at exactly the right height. So let's see if we can dial the distance from the fence in. I'm going to say that the fence has to move almost 1/16 of an inch. So I'm going to try to do it 1/32 at a time. That is a rabbet joint.
And now for something completely different.
Okay, what we're going to try to do here is make a locking rabbet joint. I've set this up at half the width of this board, and let's use this one. Our calipers are set at half the width, and I'm just going to mark what we want using the calipers. So you probably can't see that, but it's marked as half the width. So I find it easier to do the upright cut first. Now, mind you, this has all been set up already. It took me 3 tries to get it right. And you have to learn, once you do the 2 cuts, the vertical and the horizontal cut, what you have to move to dial your rabbet in, whether it's the blade height or whether it's the fence. I recommend getting the blade height right first, because it's the harder to dial in. The fence, you always have the scale on the fence, and it's easier to dial that in. So anyway, I'm going to use the other end of the board, and I'm going to show you how to set up for the locking rabbet joint. So what we want is basically a dado that runs between those 2 lines. Okay, using this rabbet, I have drawn a little more carefully where I want the dado to be in this board. I have cut myself a kerf stick for this new blade. The top line, or the bottom line here, is the kerf of this blade, and it's a little tight, but it fits in there. Fits in there nicely. So that's my kerf stick. I am setting the fence to the full width of the board, and I am about to cut along the fence with the kerf stick between the end of the board and the fence. So what I am doing here is I am setting the fence width to the width of the tongue of the rabbet. And so there is our locking rabbet joint. Anyways, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. This is Steve Bonin with Urban DIY signing off. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. And we'll see you next time. Check out these other videos.